ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont. And we've got a update finally for The Outer Worlds 2 and when it's going to be dropping. This article here from Game Rant wanted to shed a little light on the new villain. The Outer World 2's Auntie Cleo has a lot in common with one of gaming's best villains. Let's see. Auntie Cleo's role in the Outer World 2 seems to mirror Handsome Jack from Borderlands, hinting at a captivating antagonist. I don't know. The game's plot involves Cleo's pursuit of power and profit by ordering an invasion of a new colony. The player's freedom in the Outer Worlds 2 will likely extend to choosing evil deeds and being able to align with Auntie Cleo's cause. So we already know that this is going to be a faction-based game, much like when Obsidian did what is arguably one of the greatest Fallout games, Fallout New Vegas. And Auntie Cleo already has power. She's coming to reestablish power, not um pursuing it. She's Auntie Cleo. She's one of the four largest conglomerates in the Outer Worlds, in all of Halcyon. Kind of ridiculous to actually whoever wrote this probably didn't play the games. J. Scott Thurlow, did you even play the Outer Worlds? Did you pay attention when you were playing it? Let's see. After being in the works since 2021, Obsidian Entertainment's sequel to its 2019 sci-fi RPG first-person shooter, The Outer Worlds 2, now has an official release date. That was a weird sentence. Bit of a run-on, right? After being, yeah, that's a run-on sentence. Among the whirlwind of world premieres and new trailers at the Xbox Game Showcase, Obsidian revealed that fans can now expect to return to its retro future flavored corporate dystopian this year on October 29th. The studio has gradually been unveiling more about the Outer Worlds 2, and fans got their most detailed look at it yet in the recent event. Yeah, there's a nice little 2.5 minute video. Maybe I'll pull it up at the end of this. The Outer World 2's Auntie Cleo is giving off heavy Handsome Jack vibes. Invasion of Arcadia. Just a straight up picture of Handsome Jack. Auntie Cleo. So, let me go ahead and comment on this. Visually, this is giving off kind of a mix of Andrew Ryan from BioShock and Mr. House from New Vegas. Like I get kind of that's the vibe I get, and that's kind of what I feel from the character. She's a combination of Andrew Ryan with the seriousness of what he's trying to do, and Mr. House with his seriousness, with like a little bit of dash of Obsidian's, dark humor, which I guess you could say makes her feel like Handsome Jack in a way, but that's to me that's an incorrect comparison. Get out of here. Oh my god. Get out of here. Never get a a laptop that has a built-in calculator or what is this? Yeah, built-in calculator number pad on the mouse pad. It's a nightmare. Another picture of Handsome Jack. And but you'll have to do and another picture of Handsome Jack. Okay, guys. Forcing it doesn't make it true. Auntie Cleo is set up to be the Outer Worlds 2 biggest bad corporate wolf. While it was shown in the first game that Auntie Cleo's company was suffering a decline and slipping into the red, it appears she's since bounced back. There's been a merger between her brand and the iconic Spacer's Choice to create a new corporate conglomerate, monsters called Auntie's Choice, intent on devouring its next target, the colony of Arcadia. Auntie's Choice forces the invading Arcadia in the hopes of claiming its resources and citizens' lives to perpetuate their profits. So let's analyze this statement, right? Uh, it was in the red, but it took over Spacer's Choice. They say it's a merger, but when a merger happens and the opposing person or one of the people becomes the prominent brand head of it, that means that they're the ones who bought them, right? There's a reason Twitter is now called X because it got bought and rebranded. So Spacer's Choice was the one that was in the red because you definitely your actions in the first Outer Worlds definitely hurt Spacer's Choice the most because that's the organization you interact with the most, which means obviously you're going to do the most damage. And I'm guessing that the way this game seems to be set up is the canonical storyline for the Outer Worlds is that your character sided with Phineas. So we got to go from there. Fans will play an Earth Protectorate agent in the Outer Worlds 2, coming to investigate and quell the chaos breaking out across Arcadia. On top of the invasion, strange dimensional rifts have been opening in Arcadia, and Auntie naturally wants the sole rights to these, as well as to control trade routes. The framework follows the Outer Worlds' own brand of absurdity, especially when it comes to making light of willfully out of touch, greedy, and corporate CEOs. As the EP agent, fans will be able to resist Auntie's ambition or potentially join them. So I do have a question. If you're an Earth Protectorate agent, how are they going to implement the time dilation? Were you going to have been frozen for too long and need to be reawakened with Phineas's procedure, and thus you gain time dilation as well? Or are they just going to say that he figured it out and he can give you an injection or something? Because I've seen the trailer. There's definitely time dilation as part of the game because they want that VATS like thing, but there's this uh eh, not more realistic or more believable, but less plot device. Well, no, more plot device, less stapled onto the plot. VATS is kind of just stapled onto the plot. VATS made sense in the original two Fallout games, but when it became a first person shooter, they kind of had to just, like I said, staple it onto the plot. Let's see how the Outer Worlds 2 Auntie Cleo is shaping up to give Handsome Jack a run for his money. I doubt that. Handsome Jack is probably one of the most loved villains since the Joker. Since his first appearance in Borderlands 2, Handsome Jack has risen through the ranks to claim a spot of one of gaming's best bad guys. Thanks in part or in large part to his mix of menace and charm, Jack is often pointed to as being one of the best written and performed antagonists in gaming history, and one committed to seeing his grand plans through, no matter the cost to those around them, even if they're the most loyal. Given the Outer Worlds' established setting as well as Auntie Cleo's nature, and now her seemingly expanded role in the Outer Worlds too, where she appears to be a major, if not the main antagonist, she's poised in many ways to feel and act like Jack did in the upcoming adventure. Cleo proclaims in the trailer that she's come to Arcadia to spread freedom and liberate resources for profit. She's also casually mentioned brainwashing technology, something that Jack would no doubt be on board with too. The two seem like peas in a pod in terms of their characterization and presentations. During the latest deep dive, Obsidian highlighted the level of player freedom in its incorporating into the second entry, including the choice to engage in more evil deeds in the Outer Worlds too. This will almost certainly include paths where players can choose to partner up with Cleo and help with the machinations to dominate Arcadia, and of course, corner as many markets as possible in the process. Auntie Cleo's incarnation of the Outer Worlds 2 closely resembles Handsome Jack, and that's promising indeed for the potentially placing her on a similarly villainous pedestal. I don't think so. I don't see it. She's just generic corporate overlord. I get, as I said earlier, more Andrew Ryan meets Mr. House kind of feel with a little tongue-in-cheek comedy. But to each their own. We'll have to wait for the game to come out to get a full scope of the character. But when you look at this right here, this is very much a Andrew Ryan slash Mr. House kind of situation. Appearance, the monitors, the look at my head only, don't look at my body kind of shot. Handsome Jack was kind of obfuscated, hard to see. You didn't really get a good look at him until well into the game. You mostly just heard him, and he spoke to you through intercoms and through recordings. Ani Cleo seems like she's going to be more in your face, the way Andrew Ryan and Mr. House were. But only time will tell. Uh, this didn't. didn't point out the release. Oh wait, right here. No, it doesn't give an actual release date. Do we said we had the release date. It's to release date. October 29th, 2025. Right time for Halloween. Look at that. There you have it. That's the release date. This is your new main villain. And that's all I have for this story. This is your host, Belmont, signing out.